Hey, Lee, is anything showing on the screen? Can you look on the live video, please? I don't know what's going on here. Is it like stuck? Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 18th day of November in the year 2025. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesdays no matter where it is you are in the country. Sorry about that technical difficulty right at the beginning of the show. I'm not quite sure what happened. The video froze right in the middle. And I'm very, very sorry about that. But as you do each and every week, except, of course, for last week, I join you live so that we can talk about this week's news. But before we get into this week's newspaper and what's going on, I just had an alert from the North Arlington Police Department that a traffic light at the intersection of the Belleville Pike and River Road / Passaic Avenue is out. NJDOT is there, and they are checking into it now. I don't know if it's been fixed or not, but they said that the traffic in the area was pretty darn bad and would be for a while. So if you have to go to that area, you might want to avoid the area of the Pike and River Road for the time being. But that was about 20 minutes ago, so you never know how things are going to change when it comes to the DOT. Now, I wanted to bring this to your attention because this is something that hasn't happened in a long time. I remember hearing about the Generals when I first came to Kearney in 1985, and there were always things all around on windows, in stores, and things like that about the team and the players, and it was a great football program. But over the years, it kind of fizzled away until this year. Right now, the Kearney Generals recreation football team is playing for a championship in the championship game against Englewood, and that's coming up on Saturday at 4:30 in Cliffside Park. They play all the games in neutral locations for whatever the reason. So this is the first time in years that the Generals have been playing this well, and it's certainly a source of great pride for our town and things of that nature. But the championship game is coming up this weekend. So if you are so inclined to head on over to Cliffside Park to see the final game, it is at 4:30 p.m. And listen, you have to give credit to the rec department and the people who are involved in keeping this program alive. There are a couple of people who I've spoken with recently, and the work that they do is remarkable. It really is. And our own Jason Bernstein will, once the final game is played, have a story about that in an upcoming edition of The Observer. I'm not sure if it'll be for this coming week or if it'll be the week after, but still, congratulations to everybody involved and to Ralph Katafi and the Kearney Generals football team. Now, last week was Veterans Day, always a very, very solemn occasion in the town of Kearney, and I was able to attend their annual ceremony, and it was beautiful, as it is every single year. So it's always great how the veterans are treated in this. This town is a very, very special place for, and in so many ways. Veterans are always taken care of in this town, and they're doing great work. Most of the people who are involved, the veterans organizations over on Belgrove Drive, some great work going on over there. But in this picture here, that's Len Twist wearing a doughboy uniform from World War I, if you can imagine. And each year he puts it on and he shoots off his rifle. And it's funny, no matter how many times you hear it, when that gun goes off, I get startled no matter what, even though you know it's coming. But it is so loud. But Len does this each and every year as part of the program. And it was really, really a very nice afternoon, even though it was pretty chilly out there. So thank you to everybody involved in that, and the liaison to the United Veterans Organizations, Councilman Jerry Facito, for always making sure that this goes off without a hitch. Now we're gonna go inside this week's edition And I got to tell you, this was a lot of fun. Back in August, I got a phone call from John O'Connor, and he says, "Hey, we're going to go over to Vinnie Mutz, and we're going to the mayor's going to learn how to make mozzarella cheese, right? So, would you want to come?" So I figured, yeah, let's go over. We went over, and then I just completely forgot about the story. And now here we are, and you see that the mayor was over at Vinnie Mutz with Vinnie Morelli, the owner of Vinnie Mutz, and she learned how to make the Fretz Mutz. And I got to take a bunch of it home that day, and it's phenomenal. I got to tell you something. There is no greater Mutz in the world than Vinnie's. And watching him make it is just an extraordinary sight, which the mayor got to enjoy over the summer. But and listen, if you haven't been to Vinnie Mutz for a meal yet, too, the pizza is extraordinary. The sandwiches are extraordinary. Everything is just top notch over there. And if you ever go during lunch, forget it. It's packed. It's right across the street from Township Hall in Lyndhurst on Valley Brook Avenue. And anytime I've ever been in there, it's always been packed. So make sure you plan ahead and plan accordingly if you do go over to Vinnie Mutz during the day. But what a fun day that was back in August with Mayor Doyle, and getting a chance to see this whole process. I know she really, really enjoyed getting to see the process herself. I want to welcome my buddy Larry Hanlon. Larry, good afternoon. Have not seen you in a while. Hope everything is well. And it's always good to see you when you are on the air here with us, which is quite often, by the way, just for anybody who's wondering out there. Now, this is one of those stories that just came out of nowhere. Somebody had sent a screenshot to me of a statement that Mayor Michael Melham made on his social media pages. And what it turns out is that without his knowledge, somebody, whether it was the business administrator or labor council in the township of Belleville, decided that any surviving widows or widowers of town employees weren't going to get their benefits anymore. And it was going to end on January 1st, 2026. Now, I have to preface this a little bit and tell you that the form of government in Belleville is extremely weak for a mayor. In fact, it seems that the business administrator has much more say in the day-to-day operations than a mayor would, okay? However, this blindsided Melham. Came out of nowhere, and he does not want to see the survivors of town employees losing their medical benefits come January 1st. So he made sure to put out that he was not behind this at all. And if I know Mayor Melham, he is not going to let this go, and he will fight this to the very end. But as it stands right now, a very, very underhanded way that whoever's responsible for this, I sent a letter out to the survivors and said, sorry, you're on your own come January 1st. And look at this is like probably the first week in November when these notices went out. You got to be kidding me. It's just awful. But we will continue to follow this, as I'm sure Mayor Melham will be very, very active on social media talking about it as well. And then when we get any updates, we will be sure to bring them to you when we get them. I want to also welcome in my buddy Henry Atwell. Henry, always good to see you. Hope you are doing well and hope you are safe, no matter where it is you are today. And when it comes to Henry Atwell, that could be just about anywhere in the tri-state area. Now, this is the one of two sports stories that Jason Bernstein has. Unfortunately, the Harrison High School soccer team lost in the state championship game, and what can only be described as a dream season has come to an end. But you can see a recap of that and all the things that are going on in high school football and soccer and all sorts of other things as well in this week's edition of The Observer in the sports section. Just one quick thing here. Check this out on page 9. Kearney High School seniors put on a play every year. Kathy Estrella, Millie Gonzalez, and all of the seniors put together a great show. And this year it will be Puffs. You'll have the dates and the times in the story if you check it out. And all of the proceeds, and this is always great, benefit the senior class. And they put in all the work and they get the accolades in return. And it's certainly good because it will, more than likely, I believe it goes to their project graduation and all sorts of other things for the senior class. So please check that out on page 9. And if you aren't so inclined, to go out and see the Kearney High School seniors version of Puffs. I'm not sure if we talked about this already, but I want to bring it to your attention again. But Junior Fiore, who is a longtime veteran police officer in East Newark, was promoted last week from sergeant to captain. In fact, this is the first time in 20 years that East Newark has even had a captain. They have gone around the ranks, sometimes lieutenant and chief, but there hasn't been a captain in more than 2 decades. And so when you see what's going on in East Newark and the progression that Al Bringa has brought to the East Newark Police Department, things are happening. They are happening nicely, too. They really, really are. And everything is falling into line and falling into place very, very nicely. But Junior is one of the nicest people you will ever meet in your lifetime, and he is so well deserving of this promotion to the rank of captain. And we were informed about this through a mutual friend in Billy Arizuma. Billy, that was a great of you to notify us about this. But again, to Junior, congratulations on a job well done and a well-deserved and well-earned promotion to the rank of captain of the East Newark Police Department. 2 pages of classifieds as well this week. So if you if you need to rent a place, you're looking for a job, anything of that nature, you're going to find a whole bunch of them in this week's edition of the Observer. So check those out on pages 12 and 13, and maybe you'll find exactly what you are looking for. I just wanted to also welcome in another old friend. I don't know why it's not going on the screen, and nothing is working right today. Tony Marinaro, my old buddy from Sunset Deli days. Tony, good to see you. He's talking about the New Jersey Devils. I have been remiss to bring up the Devils on the air of late, but they have the second best record in the National Hockey League right now. This is the best I've seen them play in a decade. And then last week in Chicago, at a restaurant, Jack Hughes puts his hand on a table and it breaks through and he cuts his hand and he's out for 2 months. Or now they're saying that he may have slipped at a restaurant. It just seems like I shouldn't complain. The Devils won 3 Stanley Cups in 95, 2000, and 2003, but it just seems like it's been forever. And this guy, Hughes, is just he could be the best player in the National Hockey League, but he's never not hurt. I just can't believe when I saw this story that Hughes cut his hand at a dinner with the team. That's the beginning of the signs of an athlete who is cursed. He's never played a full season. 52, 64 games, but never 82. And so now I'm a little bit worried about this, Tony, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to find a replacement for him, which they need to do. They didn't last time he got hurt. And you saw what the disastrous results of that were last year in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So as exciting as a time it is right now to be a fan of the New Jersey Devils, it's also very frustrating when your number 1 star is never not hurt. But it's good to see you, Tony, indeed. And I also want to welcome in my birthday sister and my biggest fan in the world. That is the truth. And it looks like her dad right there in the picture with her, probably up from Veterans Day, but that's retired Chief Hearn from the North Arlington Police Department right there with Carol Manley watching us down the shore, I'm sure, with Mom. Thank you for popping in, as you always do. And to anybody who may be in the background, thank you for watching today. Don't forget, if anything new happens over the course of the week, we'll drop in to see you. But if not, we'll be back 1 week from today. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now, and we hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everybody. Bye-bye.